Hi there, my name is Dan Luca and I'm from Transylvania. Yes, that's right, the home of Dracula. But I'm not here today to scare you. I'm here to help you enhance your life in the most important areas: health, business, and relationships. And while this could sound ambitious, my official promise to you is that I will teach you how to have the most productive day with just 51 minutes of preparation. I know this is a bold claim, but I have every intention to keep it. I'm in a position to make this claim because I have studied hundreds of techniques and applied all my findings on myself and on more than 300 participants in my coaching programs in the last 5 years. But before we dive right in, a few things to take care of first. Turn off your phone, or at least set it on silent without vibrations. Shut down any unnecessary software that could prevent you from receiving the webinar well, such as Skype, antiviruses, software updates, and so on. Have a glass of water nearby so you don't get dehydrated, and close the door and let everyone know that you are in the process of learning something very important that requires your full attention in the next 90 minutes. I will answer questions after each topic, so please have a piece of paper where you can write your questions and send them to me when I open the chat box. For some of these activities, I will recommend to you a gadget or app. And I want to make the disclosure that I'm not getting any commission and I am not working for any of these companies. I just like those products because I have tried them and they are great. Now, before we begin with the content, I would like to get to know you a little bit better. So I want to ask you some short questions so I can give you some more practical examples and strategies. So I'll have some short questions from you in a form of a poll. So you should see the poll anytime now. If you experience some delay, it's okay because YouTube may delay 10 or 20 seconds. I apologize for that, but it's Google and YouTube and I don't have any control over that. So, the first question: how many of you wake up before 6 a.m.? How many of you wake up before 6 a.m.? Can you see the chat, the poll? Please give me an answer in the chat box so that I know if you see it or not. Can you hear me well? Can you see my writing in the chat box? Can you please give me a sign so that I know that we are functioning well? Okay. So, do you see the poll? Okay. Good. Okay. Loud and clear. Okay, thank you very much, Danielle. Thank you, Marcus. Do you also see the questions from the poll? You should see them on the right side of the... Okay, great. Thank you, Marcus. Okay, so how many of you wake up before 6 a.m.? Did you vote? Because it would be nice to see the results. How many of you wake up before 6 a.m.? Okay. Now, if my colleague can show us the results, we can move on to the next question. Okay. So I do only 29% and I don't 71%. Okay, good. It's a good starting point. Let's move on. How many of you press the snooze button twice or more? So please answer the question now. You might get a little bit of a delay, but as I said, it's YouTube. Okay. We'll wait for another 20 seconds or so just to get the chance to everybody to vote. Okay. Hopefully you'll get to vote very soon now. And then I'll be able to show you the results. Okay, good. Can you see the second question from the poll? Okay, good. Great. So I do. 60% of you said that you press the snooze button twice or more, and I don't, 40%. Okay, great. Seems like most of you are in the same situation I was in 5 years ago. I remember I used to press the snooze button at least 2 times each morning. And also I remember I used to think that waking up early was a burden, and I dreamt about the day that I could wake up at whatever hour I wanted to. It took me more than 2 or 3 hours and 2 or 3 cups of coffee to get me going at what I now call my 20% effectiveness mode. I used to work until 9 or 10 p.m., weekends too, and get mad with my wife because she didn't understand how important my work was. Most of the time, I skipped breakfast, or on my best mornings, I ate what I then called a healthy breakfast, like eggs and bacon. I remember that at 4 p.m. I was exhausted and used all my will and discipline to keep on working, and I remember that I did all that without having 2 kids and my own business. I was wondering at the time, how the hell am I going to be able to start a business and have kids without going insane? Well, after a lot of struggle and morning cursing, I had the fortune to understand that my power was in the mornings. So I started waking up at 5 a.m. and had the goal of taking care of myself first. I went through a lot of rituals and habits, and at one time, my morning ritual lasted for more than 3 hours. In time, I realized that 3 hours was not sustainable, and moreover, it was not something that everyone could do. So I took all my habits and started a quest to reinvent them. I wanted to fit all these habits into less than an hour and still get 80% of the results. So my quest to do this led me to learn from a Chinese master, Master Zhang, to hire the best nutritionist, Cristian Panaite, my good friend, to work out with the Guinness Book of World Records runner, Andrei Roșu, and to read more than 1,000 books, and try all this on myself and on more than 300 of my best clients in the last 5 years. I really think I got to the bottom of this, and I want to share with you this step-by-step morning ritual so you can change your mornings and change your life. Good. I'm giving this webinar because I know that most people don't know what to do in the mornings, in what order, and for how long. There is a lot of information out there about different types of habits, but none are presented as a step-by-step process that you can easily follow each morning. There are tips and tricks, but not system. So, why am I the guy to listen to? I think that the best reason I can give you is that I have been doing this ritual for years, and every entrepreneur that has learned this ritual keeps on doing it morning after morning. Okay, yes, I have a Noble Manhattan coaching certification. And yes, I have coached more than 1,000 people. And yes, I have read more than 1,000 books. And yes, I have developed my own coaching program. But none of these are important if you don't do what you teach. I'm a big believer in the saying that you can't teach others what you know, you can only teach them what you are. So, this being said, in 1 minute we'll start. But before that, please give me a chance to make a quick recap for those that just joined the webinar. So in short, please eliminate any distraction and have a glass of water handy. I will be answering questions after each step, so please write these questions down. The morning ritual that you learned today is the outcome of more than 5 years of helping busy entrepreneurs build a world-class living and the work-class life while having a great personal life. I will teach these techniques in the order that I suggest you to do them each morning. Although this is not the only sequence possible, I highly encourage you to keep it for the next 7 days so you can get the full benefits before altering the sequence. So just to get an overview, I'm going to walk you through the life-changing morning ritual, and I'll explain in depth what each step is, why is it great, what is the best way to practice it, when and where is the best place and time to practice it, and common pitfalls and remedies. So, follow me through what could be your ideal beginning of a great morning. So, your alarm goes off. It's 5 a.m. You feel well rested as you went to bed at 10 p.m. You stop the alarm, put your feet on the ground, and take a deep breath. Your first thought is one of gratitude that you are alive and that you can get to experience a brand new day. Next, you go to the bathroom, wash your face and brush your teeth. There, you have a post-it note stuck to the mirror with the things that you are most grateful for in your life. This is step 1. Gratitude for a fresh day, and it takes approximately 3 minutes. Good. What is this? It's a practice that sets the tone for the day. It's a fast and easy way to put yourself in a great state in the first few minutes of the day. Why is it great? Why is it great? Gratitude has the benefit of releasing the oxytocin hormone that counters an anxiety-released hormone, cortisol, also known as the stress hormone. So, how are you going to do this? What are you going to write about? All you have to do is take 2 minutes, preferably now, and start writing all the things that you are grateful for. You can use the phrase, "I'm so grateful that." The topics of your gratitude can include your health, your spouse, your children, your money, clients, parents, friends, knowledge, and things less obvious such as the hot water, food, a shelter or your house, your bed, clothes to wear, your eyesight, your ability to walk, the fact that you live in a peaceful country, that you have the freedom of speech and the freedom to pursue your dreams. So, how about you take 2 minutes now and write down at least 8 things that you are grateful for. So, please take 2 minutes and do just that. Right now, at least 8 to 12 things that you are grateful for right now, so that you have a jump start at having that note ready for your next morning or this evening as well, to have it stuck, to have it sticked on the bathroom mirror, so that in the morning when you wake up you can read it and feel the grateful, being grateful. So please take another 90 seconds and write at least 8 things that you are grateful for. Good. Of course, if you don't finish, you can finish afterwards, because I haven't told you, but I will send you all the slides of this presentation afterwards, so you don't need to take extensive notes, because you will receive everything that's on the slides, you'll receive via email afterwards. Okay. Just out of curiosity, can you please write 1 or 2 things that you are grateful for in the chat room, so that we see each other what are the things that you are grateful for. Just write 1 or 2 things that you are grateful for right now, and 1 or 2 things that will appear on your notes that will be that you will stack on the bathroom mirror. Okay. So let me see what are your thoughts about the things that you are grateful for. Who wants to start? Okay? Okay, I leave the chat open, so anytime you feel ready to write one or two things, it will be okay just to write them in the chat box. Okay, now moving on. The best time and place to do this, as I said, it's while you brush your teeth. You read and feel the things you consider to be the most important for you and your life. Some possible pitfalls and remedies. You might forget to do this. And if you've done this right now, it's not the case, because you'll have already written 8 to 20 items, and this note will be already on the bathroom door. So just read it in the morning and in the evening and see the effect on your mood. Good. Now that you have washed your face and brushed your teeth, find a quiet spot in your house and calm your mind with a short and powerful meditation. This is step 2 of the life-changing morning ritual. Good. Before we start with the meditation, I have a short question for you in the form of a poll question. How many of you meditate daily? So please take a few seconds. Please take a few seconds and answer the question if you do meditate daily or not. So we can establish a baseline from which we can discuss this next step of the morning ritual. Okay, I see that a lot of you have written things that you are grateful for. Thank you very much. Okay, good. So, how many of you meditate daily? Okay, let's see the results. Anytime now. Okay, it seems that 2/3 of you do meditate, and only 1/3 do not meditate. Okay, great. Let's move on to the second step, the Hawaiian meditation, which will take approximately 5 minutes. Okay, the interesting thing is that I struggled with this step for years, and I even went to China to learn it the proper way with the Chinese master. But it is still too complicated. It was still too complicated, so I found this one to work better, and it's the Hawaiian meditation. So what is this? Meditation, as a lot of you already know, is about quieting the mind and becoming aware of the present. Mind has a strange habit of being either in the past or in the future, and almost never in the present. But the body is always in the present, so becoming aware of the breathing is an easy way to stay in the here and now. Well, after trying many types of meditation practices, I came to the conclusion that the simplest and most effective is the Ho'oponopono meditation. Dr. Hew Len teaches Ho'oponopono, which is the ancient Hawaiian system of healing, problem solving, and transformation. And as a curiosity, in Hawaiian, the word means to make right or to rectify an error. So why do I think this is great? This is a very powerful technique that has brought peace and healing to me and to many others. It's just a great way to start a day, to clear all that is incomplete over the night, and to start fresh and energized. Just as we shower on the outside, we need an internal shower to cleanse anxieties, frustration, stress, and leave our body and mind and heart refreshed and ready for a great day. Okay, so what is the process? So you start off by sitting on a chair, just as myself there, with the back straight, and it's like this. You inhale through the nose, right? You inhale through the nose while counting to 7, okay? In your mind, you count to 7. Then you hold your breath for 7 seconds while counting in your head. Then you exhale through your mouth for 7 seconds. And after you emptied your lungs of air, you hold your breath without having air in your lungs for another 7 seconds while counting in your mind. Okay, so you do this process for 7 minutes, and then you open your eyes and see how your mood is much better. Okay, it's very simple, it's not complicated, and I've chosen this one because it answers very well to the possible pitfalls and remedies. So one of the possible pitfalls is that you will fall asleep. Well, if this happens, don't worry, you just need more sleep. So plan to get at least half an hour more of sleep tonight. Another one is that you will get abundant thoughts in your mind. So the answer to this and the countermeasure is to keep counting. In this way, you keep your mind busy, or you give something to the mind to do, and in this way, it will not wander in any other directions. Okay, and another pitfall that people that have not meditated till now is they don't get no great ahas after the first session. So, as some of you already know, it takes a few sittings to relax and quiet the mind. So give it time and your efforts will be rewarded. Okay. Before we go on to the next step, do you have any questions? Please write them in the chat box on your right. I will wait for 30 seconds up to a minute so that you can think about questions at this stage. If not, we can move on. We'll also have a Q&A session at the end, and I will answer to all the questions that will arise. So it's no worries. If you didn't get it now, you'll still have another shot at the end of the webinar. So I'll give you another 20 to 30 seconds to write a question at the second step of the morning ritual. If not, if everything is clear and you are okay, we can move on. So 10 seconds, 15 most, and then we can move on to the next step. Okay, just as a side information, I will answer questions on the email also. So if you don't get okay, so we have a first question. Do you make your gratitude list the night before and just read it in the next morning, or make the list in the morning? So it's a good question. If you do have a natural tendency to be grateful and you find things to be grateful for very easily, then you can do it every morning. If you find it difficult to come up with things to be grateful for, then it's easier just to have it written the night before, or to write it once a week or so, and have it on your bathroom mirror, and just keep reading and keep feeling the same emotion of gratitude towards the same things. So if you're a natural person that feels gratitude, it's okay to come up with another list every day. If you still getting to that stage, it's better to have a list made once every few days or once every week, and just keep it in the bathroom mirror and use that. Hope that it's fine, Mandy, and you got your answer to the question. Okay, great. Let's move on to the next step. Okay, so now you have finished the breathing meditation and you are ready to move on to the next step. Quickly get into your exercising clothes, because we are getting ready to transition to the third step of the morning ritual, the high intensity interval exercise. This is also called the Tabata exercise, and usually it takes 4 minutes. There are also a longer version, but if you're not yet highly skilled athlete, I suggest that you start You start with only 4 minutes and you can expand from there. So, what is this? Tabata training was discovered by Japanese scientist Dr. Izumi Tabata and a team of researchers from the National Institute of Fitness and Sports in Tokyo. The findings were used to train the Olympic team of Japan. So, why is this great? Tabata and his team conducted research on 2 groups of athletes. One group trained at a moderate intensity level, while the other group trained at a high intensity level. The moderate intensity group worked out 5 days a week for a total of 6 weeks. Each workout lasted 1 hour. It's very important to remember that. The high intensity group worked out 4 days a week for 6 weeks. Each workout lasted 4 minutes and 20 seconds because there are 10 seconds of rest in between each set. And the results. Group 1 had increased their anaerobic system, the cardiovascular, but showed little or no results for their anaerobic system, the muscles. But Group 2 that performed the Tabata workout showed much more increase in their aerobic system than Group 1 and increased their anaerobic system by 28%. So, in conclusion, high-intensity interval training has more impact on both the aerobic and anaerobic systems. But the trick to getting all these benefits is the level of intensity. You'll know if you are at the right intensity level if you feel nauseous, you're seeing stars, or you're sucking wind. So, the question is, how can you do this the proper way? So this is the Tabata workout. Basically, you work hard for 20 seconds, you rest for 10 seconds, and you complete 8 rounds. First exercise is running in place. Yeah, you might be familiar with this one from school. The second one is the exercise called jumping jacks, then jumping squats, then push-ups. The fifth one is bicycle crunch, then another exercise called Mason twist, burpees, and in the end, mountain climbers. This is also, these screenshots were taken from the Quick4 app, and you can download it from the App Store, of course, and you can also see a video with all this if you go on YouTube and search Quick 4-minute workout. I highly encourage you to do this because it's a great, great exercise. Okay, good. Now, the greater things with this kind of workout is that you can start without any prior training because you do less reps of each exercise and build up from there. And even when you become advanced, you can increase the intensity and do more reps in the same amount of time. The amazing thing is that even if you are a beginner or super advanced, it takes the same amount of time. Now, possible pitfalls and remedies. You might find it hard at the beginning if you're not an Olympic athlete already. But do as much as you can of each exercise because you will develop endurance in a few days and you will improve very fast from that point on. Good. Before we go on to the next step, do you have any questions? If you do, please write them in the chat box on your right and I will answer them as soon as they are displayed. We can leave the Tabata workout just to make it easier for you to see the exercises, and if you have any questions, then you can let me know. The video from YouTube is also very self-explanatory. Also, the app, the mobile app is also very, very helpful. So, of course, there are longer Tabata workouts of 7 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, and so on. But start with this one because it's very, very intensive and build up from there. The app is called Quick4. Quick4, number 4. Daniel, thank you very much for the question. Yeah, if you search on YouTube, Quick 4-minute workout, you'll see a video that it's actually the app. So you can see it online on a browser, or you can have it on your mobile phone or your iPad. Good. Thank you very much. We can move on now to the next step. Well, now that you've had your 4 intense minutes, you should be sweating and trying to catch your breath, really trying to catch your breath. It's time to hit the shower and move on to the 4th step of the life-changing morning ritual, which is called shower learning. Well, this might sound strange because I don't know if you encountered anything like this before, but let me tell you, what is this? It's an ingenious way to use your limited time in the morning in a more productive way. In this case, it's about having a Bluetooth speaker in your shower so that you can listen to audiobooks, TED Talks, or anything else while you shower. Why is this great? This is truly great because you can sync it with your smartphone, and while your body gets refreshed, your mind can receive great nourishment right from the beginning of the day. How can you do this the proper way? So, this is a picture of the gadget. It's called Echo X Gear, and you can find it on Amazon.com. Okay, let me show it to you. This is the gadget. It has a cord. You can hang it in the shower. So not only outside of your shower, you can place it inside the shower, and it will sync through the Bluetooth with your mobile phone. So the only thing that you have to really do is to make sure that you have audiobooks and you have TED Talks and everything else that will help you really have a learning experience while you are in the shower. So if you don't know what audiobooks to start with, I also come up with a list of authors that I really like and that I recommend it to you, especially to listen in the morning, because they set the tone of a great day and you will be able to really start the day in a great way. So you can listen to Jim Rohn's The Art of Exceptional Living. You can listen to Tony Robbins' Get the Edge. You can listen to Napoleon Hill's The Master Keys to Success. And you can listen to Stephen Covey's The 8th Habit. Okay, great. Good. Possible pitfalls and remedies. You don't want to be in there forever, so keep track of your time and don't get carried away. Another pitfall would be nothing great to play. So please make sure that you have your playlist ready every morning. I think this step is pretty straightforward, so I don't think that we need a Q&A session here. But if you do have a question, please write it down and I'll answer it at the end of the webinar. Now that you feel fresh and you got dressed in the work clothes that you prepared the night before, you are ready to feed your body with a delicious breakfast. And you are ready to enter the 5th step of the life-changing morning ritual, which is called breakfast, the blueberry smoothie. And I estimated that on a regular day, it will take about 7 minutes, that if you have all the ingredients ready. So prepare the ingredients the night before, and you just blend them and drink the smoothie. So what is this? This breakfast is a smoothie, of course. Why? Because it's fast, it's nutritious, and it's delicious. It's the best breakfast you can have in the morning, so you can get your optimal dosage of antioxidants and nutrients for an entire day. It's not the breakfast of champions, but it's the daily breakfast of an MD, PhD with more than 30 years of clinical nutrition experience. So, why is it great? This great guy's name is Dr. Greger, a physician, author, and internationally recognized speaker on nutrition, food safety, and public health issues. He is a founding member of the American College of Lifestyle Medicine and is licensed as a general practitioner specializing in clinical nutrition. He is also the founder of nutritionfacts.org, a website with more than 1 million visitors a month. So this guy knows his stuff very, very well. And I concur that his breakfast gets the job done. How can you make this great breakfast? So, it's not a secret, but you'll need the following ingredients. You'll need a cup of unsweetened soy milk. You'll also need half a cup of frozen blueberries, the pulp of a ripe mango, 1 tablespoon of flax seeds, 1 palmful of bulk white tea leaves, 1 teaspoon of gooseberry powder, also known as alma powder. You can also search the video that Dr. Greger has made with this smoothie. Please go on nutritionfacts.org and search a better breakfast. These are the keywords to find the video where he explained this, this smoothie. The thing is that, as Dr. Greger says, you'll get more antioxidants that most people get in an entire week. And you are able to get that in the first hour of the morning. So, to make everything much easier, I recommend the following blender. You can drink right from the container without using a separate glass. You can go online on Amazon.com and find it. If you don't find it there, you'll find it on other sites, but it's pretty available everywhere. So it's called Russell Hobbs Mix and Go Mini Blender, and you just put the ingredients in there. You just screw on the top of the blender, you mix it, then you turn around the container, you put in the sipping cap, and then you can drink right from the container without needing another glass to put it into. So it's really great and very convenient, and for sure it's helping our morning dash, because you only have 7 minutes to make this smoothie and drink it. So I would say a possible pitfall and the remedy for this, you could feel that it's so good that you'll want more than one. So be careful with that, because it's also very nutritious and very it has a lot of calories. But if you only stick to one, it will be fine. Actually, you'll out of this combination, you'll get approximately 7 ounces of smoothie. So it's not a small quantity, and in a regular time, it will keep you filled up until mid-morning or even lunch. So you won't need any other snack or food. Good. Now that you have nourished your body and you have the necessary fuel, it's time to jumpstart your mind and set the wheels in motion so that you have a great day. It's time for you to move on to the 6th step of the life-changing morning ritual, which is journaling. And on most days, it will take you 5 minutes. Well, it's not a lot, and it's not few, but these 5 minutes can be used in a great way. So, what do I call journaling? Well, I feel it's the easiest way to stay connected to your true self and to the best version of yourself. And why is it great? This is great because, as you probably already know, all the resources that you need are inside of you. Turn your attention inwards and find the significance for doing everything you do. Journaling might also be called the act of thinking in writing. A few years back, I've heard a quote that I still remember every time I see my journal. Great ideas will visit you only once. You'd better capture them or you'll lose them. So, how can you practice this? Answer this question in a nice journal. I'm sure that you are familiar with Moleskine. It's my absolute favorite. So, if you don't have one, it's a great way to start the journaling habit. So, I will give you 5 life-changing questions so that you can answer each morning and really enhance your day and really enhance the way you start the day. So, the first one would be, what would I dare to do if I knew I could not fail? Okay? As I told you, I will give you the slide, so you can take notes, but it's not needed because you'll receive the slides. It's better just to pay attention and go at the same speed. The second one, what am I assuming about what is possible and impossible? The third one, what hill am I willing to die on? This is a real commitment that is needed here. The fourth one, what brings me joy and fulfillment? It's a very necessary question because most of the time we don't know the answer to this question, and we do a lot of other stuff that doesn't make us feel good. And not the least one, the last but not the least, what revolution do I want to lead? It's a very, very important question, because when you do know the answer to this one, everything else will line up behind this decision to lead a revolution. As you can tell, I'm leading the 5 AM revolution, so it's pretty clear from my part what kind of revolution am I leading. Good. Some possible pitfalls and remedies. You might get the writer's block. So that's why I included 5 questions, so you don't have to come up with them from off the top of your head each morning at 5:45 or so. Another pitfall might be that you lack preparation. So make sure that you have your journal, your pen ready, and also you have a quiet place to write. If you are like me, you have 2 kids, wife, and maybe you have also a dog, a cat, or a parrot, or something else, it will be quite challenging to find a place. So it's very important to have plans and make preparation in order to have this place ready. Another pitfall might be not knowing which way is best, journaling by hand or journaling in the computer. So based on experience, most people find that it's much better to write by hand rather than type on a computer, as you engage much more with the process. It's okay at the computer or other device, but please give it a try first with handwriting. Okay, good. Now I'll stop for a little bit and I'll take questions. So if you have questions, please write them in the chat box and I'll be more than happy to answer them. So please send me your questions for this step or previous steps. If you have, it's fine. We'll stop for 30 seconds just to give you some space to write in the questions. Okay, great. I'm waiting. Good. So we are now at step 6 out of 8. There are 2 steps more, and then I have a surprise that will make everything so much easier. Okay, so anytime now, if you have the questions from journaling, I will display again the life-changing questions. If you don't understand the questions or have any other thing that is not clear, then I'll be happy to answer them. Okay, we'll stay another 10-15 minutes, and if there are no questions, we'll move on, and then we'll come back at the end of the webinar, and I'll be ready to answer other questions. Okay, great, no problem, we'll move on. Good. Now, your mind is now expanded into the bigger future, seeking out opportunities and resources. And it's the best moment to move on to the 7th step of the life-changing morning ritual. And this one is the goal of the day. And it usually takes about 10 minutes. The goal of the day is essentially this: the way to reduce everything to the essential and to the number 1. This is hands down the best productivity technique ever invented. There is a single number 1 in any sport, in your heart, in top 500 fortune. So of course there is only one priority that leverages everything else. Most people fail not because they didn't do well enough on the 2nd or on the 3rd priority. They struck out because they mess up the 1st priority. So right now I'm curious to ask you the following question. How many goals do you set each day? And you'll have a possibility to choose from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 or more. I'm quite curious how many goals do you set each day? Take your time and answer the poll. So after that, we will see the results. Okay, let's see what are the results. Please take your time. I hope the delay is not that important, and you can see the poll quite quickly afterwards, and you can submit the results. So another 15 seconds for you to vote. Hopefully you have already voted, and after that we'll move on. Okay, to the 7th step. Okay, let's see the results if they are ready. Okay, so more than half, 52 actually, don't set any goal. 20% set 1 goal, 8% set 2 goals, 8% sets 3 goals, and 4% more 4 or more. Okay, so it's quite interesting because I have found an astonishing fact that the word priority didn't have a plural until 1950. And I know this from a book called Essentialism, Disciplined Pursuit of Less. Okay, so why is this step about goal of the day so great? Because single focused minds tend to win the game every time. Do the most important step first. Forget everything else. Because single focus days have changed my last month. My productivity exploded and the quality of my work went through the roof. So the question is, how do you find the most important goal of the day? Make a list of 5 goals that you want to achieve today. Put them on a blank paper, on a blank sheet of paper, and I'll show you a template for doing this. Take each goal and compare it with each other. Each time you compare it, ask yourself, if I have to accomplish only 1 goal today, which of these 2 will be? Okay, so this is the template that I created. I called it 5M 5 goal grid, and basically it's like this. You can also download it from the link. Basically it's like this. You write goal number 1, goal number 2, goal number 3, goal number 4, goal number 5, and in each case you compare goal number 1 with goal number 2, and whichever is more important, you put in the square there, you put the number of the goal that wins. In this case, could be 1. Then you compare goal 1 with goal 3, and if you only could accomplish only 1 goal, which one would be? If it's 3, you put in the square the number 3, and so on. And basically you compare each 2 goals, and at the end you'll have all the squares marked with 1 number. And whichever goal has the most wins and the most appearances in the squares is the most important goal. And in this way, you make sure that you're really doing the most important goal each day and not a 2nd tier goal or a 3rd tier goal and so on. Good. Now, after you find the most important goal of the day, you need to do a sanity check, because not all goals must, even though they win the contest between each 2 goals, might not be the most important or the most relevant goal. So it's really important to do this sanity check after a while. So the question that I propose to you to have in mind after establishing the most important goal are the following. First one, if today were the last day of your life, would I want to do what I'm about to do today? This is the question Steve Jobs asks himself every day. And if the answer is yes to this question, go on. Would I want to call my best friend at the end of the day and brag about this accomplishment from this goal? Next, will this goal count 5 years from now or not? Fourth question, what advice would my mentor give me on accomplishing this goal? Okay, do you have a mentor? If not, you should have at least one. And if this mentor is with you, you can ask him. If he's not, you can imagine, because you know him very well. And by the simple fact that you can think about this and imagine having him ask this question, you might get some interesting answers. Then, fifth question, how could I reach this goal for today if I worked for only 1 hour? I'm a great believer in the theory of constraints. If you are constrained by some limitation, you'll become more productive. So this is also the case if you limit your time available for accomplishing this goal. And last but not least, what is a completely different way of achieving this goal? Because you might at some point go only the known road and not take any risks. With this question, you can explore some options that you didn't take into consideration before. Good. Here are also some pitfalls, and one is the following. You have to attend pressing matters. And it's quite interesting because when you are consistently on your #1 priority, you have way fewer fires to put out. So this is a remedy in itself. Okay, this is step 7. So if you have any questions, I can take them now, and I will wait for another 15-20 seconds to receive this. Otherwise, we'll move on. I do have some questions from before, so I'll answer them until I receive the newer questions. So Danielle asked me, do you include faith in any of the steps? Yes, I do. At sometime I do include this in the evening before going to bed. So it's not a morning ritual, but more an evening ritual. Okay, and the question from Marcus, how much do you read per day, pages or minutes? Well, usually I read 30 minutes, and it depends. This depends greatly on the way that you read. If you read normally, you probably can read about 20 pages max. If you do speed read and you skim and do photo reading and other ways of reading, then you can go up to a few hundred pages. So it depends very much on how what's your method of reading. But most of the time, if I speed read, then I'll go through half or even one book, because as you can tell, after reading a lot of books, you can figure out very easily if a book is really good and it needs to be further explored, or you just put it aside and move on. So, any other questions at this point, or we can move on? Good. Okay, let's move on. Now, you are now clear about your most important goal of the day, and you are prepared to plant another seed for the day. In fact, you are ready for the 8th and last step of the life-changing morning ritual. And this is called the relationship enhancement note. And it usually takes approximately 5 minutes. Good. And what is this about? It's an easy and simple way of upgrading your relationship. A distinct gesture of appreciation at the beginning of the day that can really light things up in a couple. And why is it great? It is awesome because with only 5 minutes, you can write a great note. Well, you do some soul searching and write something from the heart, write something that will brighten your spouse's day, write something that will bring a smile to the face of your loved one. And I'm sure that you know how great it is to feel the love of your most important person in your life. You feel invincible. This is why doing this for someone else is a great relationship enhancer. So, how can you write this note? Well, you don't need to become a card writer for Hallmark. You don't even need to become a part-time writer. It's enough to choose from the question that I will give you and answer from your heart. That's it. Okay, so here are some questions that you can answer and put them in a note. So, what compliment have you never made to your spouse? What compliment have you never made to your spouse? What is one trait of your partner that you are glad that he or she has because you lack it? Okay? In what way has your spouse pleasantly surprised you in the last days? Why do you appreciate that? So why is this significant? Why do you like that? And another question, what compliment would you like to receive from your spouse so that you can offer it first? You know, sometimes in order to receive something, the easiest way to receive it is to offer it first. So this is also true in the case of appreciation. Or if you like something more straightforward, you can use one of these. You inspire me. I love to hear you laugh. You are my biggest treasure. I feel rich every day. Your gorgeous smile can lighten up my darkest day. You amaze me with you light up my life. You have a beautiful soul. You are lovely in so many ways. I'm the luckiest man alive when you hold my hand. I have butterflies in my stomach when you say my name. And another one would be, I love you not only for what you are, but for what I am when I'm with you. Okay? Good. So, possible pitfalls and remedies. Well, there are some days when you might be out of inspiration. So, write more than one note in the inspired days and keep them from the low inspiration days. Good. So, you are now at the end of the life-changing morning ritual and you have spent only 51 minutes in the process. If you add an extra 1 minute between each step as an on-ramp and off-ramp, you still have spent less than 60 minutes, 58 to be accurate. Now, do you want to make everything even easier? You might think that it's hard to remember all these steps, the sequence, the timing. It's nearly impossible to get it right and stick to this routine. That's why I'm happy to tell you that you can now delegate to a virtual assistant all this timekeeping and sequence remembering. So, what I'm proposing you is an app that is called Seconds. Okay, you can search it on iOS and Android. It works fine on both devices. Or you can use it from a browser, online browser, and you can go on 5mcoaching.com/morning-timer/ and you can use it from there. And after you install your app on your iOS or Android device, you can download it and customize on your phone. Because what we have done is that we actually put in this timer all the activities from the morning ritual, if you believe that. So, because, as I said, you set this routine in the software and you just press play after you wake up. After that, all you have to do is keep up with the timer as the steps count down to 0. So, you do need to prepare everything before going to bed at night, but other than that, your first hour every morning is pure joy and outstanding results. Isn't it that great? Having everything in a well sequence, in an order, and that you only have to do to press play, and then everything plays nicely, and you just keep on board and making sure that you don't skip any countdown to 0. So, great. Now, this was the morning ritual, and it took me more than 5 years to develop. But if you put it into practice, I can assure you it will change your productivity, your energy, and the results you get each and every day. But you are here because you want to be more productive, achieve more in less time, and you want a more balanced life. You want more time to spend with your kids, with your spouse, with your friends. You want more time for your hobbies and to visit this amazing world that we live in. So, the morning ritual is just a piece of the puzzle. If you want more help on getting the life you've always dreamt of, then let me show you what I'm doing for people like you. First, I'm a coach, trainer, and speaker specialized in productivity and life balance for entrepreneurs. I have helped more than 300 entrepreneurs gain balance in their lives while increasing their work productivity. I help entrepreneurs create a lifestyle that balances family, health, hobbies, spirituality, and business so that they can live their best life possible. I make this possible through my 5 AM productivity coaching, where I coach, teach, and monitor each entrepreneur for 16 weeks. I guide him or her through a 5-stage journey that will reinvent the way he perceives and spends his time so that he or she can build a world-class business while having a great personal life. The 5 stages are: rediscovering your authenticity, taking back your power, increasing your productivity, the 48-hour day. Then, achieving a balanced life, business, family, health, and fulfillment. Then, mastering yourself, the best you can be. And not the least one, enjoying effortless success. Okay, so how do I do this? For 16 weeks, the entrepreneur I'm working with gets 1 hour of coaching with me. He or she receives 1 email per day with actionable information. He has weekly evaluation on 20 KPIs, key performance indicators, and also he has access, he or she, to the self-monitoring 5 AM online software. So, these tools that I use to transform entrepreneurs' life have some very strict set of concepts that are proven to work miracles. So, let me give you a quick overview of this question. The first one, it's called the priority pyramid. Okay? And the first one is a pyramid with the nose up, and the second one is the pyramid with the nose down. So what I do, I move the entrepreneurs from the pyramid of unhappy people, the one on the left, to the pyramid of happy people, the one on the right. Essentially, I help them shift the way they spend their time and energy each day. And they move from having most of the day filled with activities with low or no value per hour to being highly productive for at least 70% of their day. Good. Now, moving on to the second principle, we eliminate the internal and external obstacles that stand in the way of productivity. I help them move away from internal obstacles such as lack of sleep, unhealthy nutrition, internal conflicts, and also from external obstacles that can be overcome by setting up the proper working environment, by initiating healthy relationship and work at work and at home. Then, the third one, we shift from the old paradigm of time management to the new paradigm of energy management. We shift from the paradigm that life is a marathon to the one that life is a series of sprints with breaks in between. We shift from the paradigm that rewards fuel the performance, to the one that significance is the best fuel for any goal. We shift from the paradigm of positive thinking to the one that mind is important but not enough, and the best way to succeed is to employ the power of full engagement. Then, the fourth one, we kill the 4 enemies of productivity. So, we get rid of frequent interruptions, start and stop, the succession of unrelated tasks, and also the lack of clarity. By the way, you can find detailed information of all of this principle on 5amcoaching.com, the homepage of the program. Then, moving on, the fifth one, we take the 4 human needs and make sure that each of them is nourished. So the 4 human needs are the need for evolution, the need for fulfillment, the need for energy and health, the need for relationships, and we install habits that nurture each of these needs in a balanced way. For example, the need for evolution can be nourished with clear goals, journaling, focused work, learning, and so on. You can see examples to all of these needs being fulfilled. Okay, moving on to the 6th principle. We create a map of the productive day that balances all the 4 needs. We split the day into 4 time blocks: time for myself, time for professional productivity, time for loved ones, and again, time for me. You had a glimpse of what the me time is with the morning ritual. The 7th principle, we stop all the harmful habits that are present at this time in the person's life, and we make sure to break the rubber band that keeps the habits from returning in his life. And the 8th principle, we progressively install the 9 habits that nourish the body, mind, spirit, and relationships. The first one is the morning rituals, which you know about by now. The second one is having goals, having plans, and also reviewing them. Then the free writing. Then the mindfulness habit. Then going on to the strategic nutrition, Pomodoro technique, the let go to purify habit, the segmented intentions, and also refresh PM. All these 8 concepts translate into a step-by-step system that is tailored for the entrepreneur's needs and goals. Okay, this was a pretty extensive overview of the most important principle of the program. As I said, please also see 5amcoaching.com for more info on these principles that we are using in the program. So you may think that there are a lot of things and it's hard to learn them and apply them in your life, but the thing to remember is that I will guide you day by day, week by week, and I will not give you more that you can chew. The transition from the current life to the desired one will be smooth, that you will not feel any pain or resistance. That's why the program takes 16 weeks. I'm not a believer in radical change because it will not last. I can't do overnight miracles, but I can do miracles in 16 weeks. Each week, we install a new small habit and make sure that it will stay with you for years to come. Most of the entrepreneurs that are faced with this program think they need a lot of disciplines to follow it, but that's not true. I've made this program so even the most undisciplined entrepreneur can master it. To sum up, all you need is the will to make a change, and you can leave the rest to the program and to me. But to have results I have with this program, I do all the coaching myself, and that takes a lot of my time. So I can only take 10 new students every 4 months. The price that I charge an entrepreneur to have my full focus and attention for 4 months is $3,740 per month. But because this is the first time I'm offering this program in the US and UK, and because I want 10 amazing success stories when I launch it at full price, I'll give you 50% off the regular price if you enroll by Monday, September the 8th. So, the offer, what you'll be getting. 1 hour coaching session with me each week. Daily emails with condensed actionable knowledge, weekly evaluation on 20 key performance indicator, full access to the self-monitoring 5am online software, and in addition to that, unlimited 15 minutes emergency coaching calls. I make this available because most entrepreneurs are faced with the need to make quick decisions, and they need on-the-spot coaching to make the best decision for the long run. Good. But that's not all. I have two more things that, if you're not yet convinced, I think it will help you make up your mind. First, you get a 100% money-back guarantee for 1 year after you finish the program. Isn't this the most outrageous guarantee you've ever heard of? I give you a lot of my time for 16 weeks, and I'm willing to give you another year after you finish to make up your mind if this program was worth it. And the second outrageous thing, if you enroll in the next 24 hours, you'll get 2 hours of free business consultancy with my business partner, Răzvan Căzănescu. He built more than 20 businesses in more than 10 different industries in the last 6 years. He is my go-to person on topics of online and offline marketing, leadership, and management. His hourly fee is $1,000 and works only with businesses with over 10 million in turnover, but you can get 2 hours with him if you act fast. Believe me, in just 2 hours, he can give you solutions to double your profit. He agreed to do this because he thinks that you can pay for the full program with money that you'll earn as a result of this consultancy. So, here is your recap. 4 months of weekly coaching with me, daily emails with condensed actionable knowledge, weekly evaluation on 20 key performance indicators, full access to the self-monitoring 5M online software, unlimited 15-minute emergency coaching calls, 50% off the regular price, just $1,870 per month instead of $3,740 per month. 1 year and 4 month, 100% money back guaranteed, the most outrageous guarantee you'll ever hear of. And of course, 2-hour consultancy session with the best business consultant I know. All coaching will be done through Skype or phone, and when you start, you will receive my personal phone number so you can contact me anytime you need. Okay? Good. So, what can you do to get all this? Go to the presentation page of the program and have a look at the detailed presentation. As I said, 5amcoaching.com. Go to the offer page and click on the Let's Begin button at the bottom. Okay? Fill in the Get Started questionnaire, and I'll personally get in touch with you to clarify the next step. Okay, that's it. Go on the page and enroll now, and I promise you'll be my next success story. Okay, now we start the Q&A. So, please ask me anything you want to know about the program, the morning ritual, or about productivity. So, I'll be waiting for your great questions. Okay, Daniel, how do you deliver these notes? Text, email, paper, and pen. If you refer to the notes to the partner, the relationship enhancement notes, yes, the best way I do is even stick it on the cupboard in the kitchen, or on the fridge, or a place where I know my wife goes by in the morning as the bathroom mirror sometime. So I find a spot where for sure I know she will find my note in the morning. So yes, that would be a good place to do it. Okay, what other questions do you have? I will be here for another minutes, 5-10 minutes. If you do have questions, I'll be more than happy to answer them. So, waiting for the next questions. In the meantime, I just want to thank you for being part of this webinar. It was a great honor and privilege to have you with me today. For sure, we'll meet again. And
if you are ready and committed to really make a big improvement in your life, then you can take up on my offer, and we'll start together what would be a very interesting 16 weeks journey, and you can be my next success story in the next 4 months or so. Okay, still, do you have any other questions? I'll be happy to answer them. Okay, how do you handle interruptions? Yeah, this is a question that I get very often. My husband is up early and my children often get up early too. The easiest way to work with this is to engage them in a proper way. So, for example, if my wife gets up earlier, then we'll spend some time together, just like that, and then I'll excuse myself and go in my office and continue. If my kids wake up, I'll play with them for 5 or 10 minutes because they need that as soon as they wake up to get in touch and have contact with me and exchange energy in a way. And then they can go about and play or watch some cartoons or are with my wife. And then I can get another 10, 15, 30 minutes for what I want to do. But another way to do this, is also to wake up even earlier. So if you wake up already at 5, then you you have a problem. But otherwise, if you're not waking up at 5 already, then you can move your wake up time even earlier, and you'll diminish the odds of having another family member around. For Danielle, the payment plan is on the offer page, and it's a monthly payment plan, so it's split it. It's not a lump sum at the beginning or the end. So as soon as you go through a month of coaching, you make the payment, then the next month and the next payment, and so on. So I like to keep the results and the rewards very well connected. So it's not at the beginning or the end. It's on the way to do that. Okay, what other questions? Great question do you have for me? Okay, you'll also receive an email with the slides, so that you have the notes from the webinar. And if you have any other questions, please feel free to email me back and answer any question that you might have. I will answer them as fast as I can. Okay. I hope you found the webinar to be valuable, and I hope that you are ready to implement at least some, if not all, of the habits that I presented to you. And I can guarantee that if you do this for 1 week, the risk is that you might never want to go back to your previous way of spending your first hour each morning. Do you do the ritual 7 days a week? It's a great question, Katie. Most of the time I do it only from Monday to Friday, but of course you can do it 7 days. I keep some of the habits on Saturday and Sunday, as the breakfast, the shower, the meditation. So I do have some part of the ritual also during the weekends, but I'm not that strict with it, because I might be away or I might have guests, and it's a little bit harder. But other than that, whatever is fitting in with the schedule that I have that weekend, I do. So For sure, Monday to Friday, because I need the right kind of energy, the right kind of mindset. But in the weekend, I take it slower, but not. I don't slow at all. I don't stop at all, and I find it very, very, very rewarding and very invigorating to really have 5 days a week this kind of start of the morning. Thank you, Mandy, for your consideration. I really enjoyed having you here today. So if you do have some thoughts at the end of the webinar, I'll be happy to hear them. If not, this was a great webinar. Thank you for your participation. We'll meet again soon, and we'll stay in touch. So if you have any questions, as I said, please write to me or express your questions, and I'll answer to them as soon as I can. Thank you very much for being here today, and I'm looking forward for your feedback, for your enrollment in the coaching program, and for sure we'll meet again pretty soon. Thank you very much, and have a great day. Goodbye.